At the beginning, always good. Even I try to push up in the top corner, and then no one's here.
It should be better because the
Yeah, the first W is
the brake's better.
more confident now.
So we raise the rear. So expect for it to can move a little bit more.
You mean
So
on
less
braking or
overall?
Overall.
Overall should give you more understeer, but just should be ready for it basically.
Right. Okay.
You'll be caught off guard.
Sure.
And the first lap, a lot of heat on the tires. Okay, and don't touch the curbs.
You mean on the
Outlap.
Okay.
Well, once you start, you can touch the curbs. It's fine.
All right.
Just an outlap because almost there. The pressures are good. Dropping down a bit. It's a bit hotter. Huh? It's still within range. Yeah.
Welcome back to Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia for what will be round 2 of the 2017 TCR Asia Series. For those of you that were with us this morning, we're entertained by a very good race that was ultimately dominated by the reigning champions, Liqui on screen, and it was the Liqui Team Engsler operation that took the victory. Here we are at Sepang. 5.542 kilometres, 15 turns. Herman Tilke designed Formula One circuit, the home of the Malaysian Formula One Grand Prix. And this is the 3rd season of TCR Asia. It was the next in line after the introduction of the TCR International Championship back in early 2015. In March 2015, we were right here for the very first event of TCR Asia. Now we're back for what will be the 10th event conducted as part of TCR Asia. This is a 6 event or 12 round season with an invitational at the end of the year for the famed gear circuit at Macau. And that of course will come in November, but here we are in March 12. We had race 1 this morning, and the pole sitter, the man who had dominated all of private practice and then through to official practice, Kandati Kasiri. Boom by name, boom by nature. He took the top spot in qualifying 1, improved the time again in qualifying 2, fell about 0.6 of a second short or thereabouts of the best lap ever by a TCR Asia car around Sepang circuit, which in fact is Tin Sritrai, his compatriot. But the new recruit behind the wheel of the number 2 Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR for the Liqui Team Engsler operation, Kandati Kasiri. He really was the standout performer in qualifying and went on to win the opening race quite comfortably from his teammate, Diego Moran, the Ecuadorian, making his debut in the championship. Now there's Tin Sritrai, who has made a switch this year from the Honda Civic he ran last year quite competitively, although unfortunately without the results he was after in the end. A lot of mechanical woes stopping him short of completion and dropping him to 3rd in the championship in the end. Tin Sritrai now in an identical Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR to his title rival, and that would be Kandati Kasiri. Here's Diego Moran, great job first time out for the Ecuadorian. Recently moved to Shanghai in China to take up business there. Had contested a number of production touring car championships, Super 2000 in fact, in the Colombian championships. Been successful in outings there, but this was his first run in TCR. He did a very good job. Now we have the TCR International Standard reverse top 8 grid for the second race. So same qualifying times used to set the first grid, but you invert the top 8. The only change this time around is 2 of the top 8 from qualifying yesterday were actually excluded for a minor Parc Ferme infringement, the 2 Engineering Honda Civic TCRs. They were dropped to rear of field, and as a result of their penalty, they don't drop beyond the top 8 for the second leg of qualifying. They drop to the rear of the top 8. So they will start a little bit further back. So on pole position by virtue of earlier qualifying yesterday, it's the Liquimolly girls on screen. SK Tong in the number 8 Phoenix Racing Audi will be on pole position. Alongside him, Eric Kay would have been on position 2, but unfortunately he was eliminated in an accident off the start line in the opening race. So that position has now become SK Tong's teammate, 17-year-old Hong Kong driver Jasper Tong, who was the leading Cup driver in the opening race and finished in 5th place outright, of course, behind WS Lai, who worked his way amazingly from the rear of field in the car that's just in the foreground there, the red number 39 Honda Civic TCR from R Engineering. He worked his way from rear of field to 3rd by the first turn, and Srichare managed to get him at the end of the race. Unfortunately for Jasper Tong, he was unable to do it. So this will be the sighting lap. SK Tong going out, doing his best under instruction from Alex York, of course, one of Phoenix Racing Asia's favourites, and who took them to the 2016 Audi R8 LMS Cup title. There's plenty of sage words come from the former Formula 1 driver for SK Tong before the start of this race. And of course, Margie Lee, co-team owner for the Phoenix Racing team with Germany's Ernst Moser, right in the camp there of Jasper Tong, as you see starting on position 2 in the number 5 Audi Hong Kong RS3 LMS TCR. Tin Srichare, position 3 for Team Thailand. Then it is Diego Moran, who finished 2nd in the race earlier today for the Molly Team Engsler. 5th is Kennedy Kasiri, the man who has so far dominated this weekend. Alongside him, Alex Liu in the Elegant Racing Team Seat Leon TCR DSG. Then it's Douglas Koo in the 2017 Seat Leon with a sequential box. And alongside him, WS Lai in the R Engineering Honda Civic. His teammate, AK Abdul Katir, he is starting from position number 9 in the second of those cars. It's the newer of the cars. The car that WS Lai is campaigning was run by Roberto Colciago here during the TCR International Series event last year. Set pole position, won the opening race. It is campaigned by Jazz Motorsport and kept in their premises here at Sepang in Malaysia for testing duties. Been brought out of testing duties, been updated to current spec and used for the 2017 TC Asia Series as the second car in the R Engineering stable for this season. Drivers trying to get as much temperature into these tyres. Current track temperature 51.8 degrees. Pretty high humidity. There's more rain approaching. It's that time of year where you can almost set your watch by a heavy thunderstorm about 4:30 in the afternoon. So there's a lot of humidity in the air. The ambient temperature somewhere around 34, 35 degrees. It's not the most comfortable and certainly going to be very hot behind the wheel of those immaculate TCR cars as the drivers press on for this 60 kilometre or just a little bit over 11 lap race distance. And they will be doing their utmost to get through this as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, as we said, the first race, contact midfield forced Eric Kay hard into the inside wall, into the pit wall, and that did some pretty serious damage to the right front suspension of the number 98 Elegant Motorsports Seat Leon. Unfortunately, it was unable to be repaired. They had the parts. They set about the task pretty quickly, but unfortunately time was against them. The clock, only 4-hour gap between the two races. So they'll come to the line, set themselves on their starting positions and be ready for a start. Jasper Tong, for one, had a horrendous start in the opening race. He's starting off the front row this time. He won't want to do that again. He will have learnt a lot. He's in the car on the right side of screen. His teammate, SK Tong, on the left of screen in the Tarmac Phoenix Racing Asia car. You should see the green flag at the back, although no, we're just trying to line some cars up there, a little bit slow to get into position. Once they assess all of that, the lights will come on, the lights will go out, and we will be racing for round 2 of the 2017 championship. And it'll be interesting to see how quickly the drivers that dominated the opening leg, the opening round of this championship, actually get through to the front. But certainly a lot of these drivers have learnt a fair amount between then and now, and they'll be keen to impress upon their rivals what they've learned. Light goes out, and Jasper Tong's had another horrendous run, and Diego Moran's taken advantage of that to jump past both the Audis and into the lead. Up the inside, Tin Sritro too is trying to get up the inside and take that position away from SK Tong to make it 2 Volkswagens. 1, 2, a little bit of contact as they're battling. That's a little bit harsh down into turn number 1. Douglas Koo on the extreme outside there. 4th place now for Kennedy Kasiri. WS Lai has managed to move into about position number 5, trying to go around the outside there of SK Tong. That's a little bit more difficult. Up front, Moran's gone. 3rd place now for Kasiri. 2nd place for Tin Sritro. So it didn't take very long. 2 corners, in fact, from the top 3 from the last race, from round 1, to move into positions 1, 2, 3 for round number 2 of the championship. Oh, that's a little bit harsh. That's you don't want to be stuck out wide there. But WS Lai has done an awful lot of driving around this Sepang circuit. He's one of the local favourites, local heroes, and he's used that knowledge to move up the inside of SK Tong and take the position away. Now Alex Liu's looking to do what he can to move a position further forward as behind them. AK in the 2nd of the R Engineering cars, the yellow and white car. Oh, a little bit wide there on the exit, has Jasper Tong behind him. So Jasper Tong's dropped from the front row all the way back to position number 8. That's a little bit further back. Now he's taken the pole sitter and his teammate, SK Tong. So the 2 Audis haven't had the great start that they would have liked and have dropped a little bit further back down the order. A nice run through from the Volkswagens. They may have taken the wealth of experience from the Liqui Moly team, Exler team over many years as Jasper Tong moves up the inside of Alex Liu. That was a nice move. Can the Sayat hold him out? No. And now the 2nd of the Audis is going to pounce as they come out of turn 14 on a long run up to the final turn. Immaculate looking cars, the 2 new Audi RS3 LMS TCRs as Alex Liu looks back up the inside of SK Tong, takes the position away. Just a little bit of cold tyre stuff there. If he's not careful, he's going to get jumped to by Douglas Koo. He tried to close up the corner and make it a little bit more difficult for the Malaysian. But Douglas will be using the knowledge he gained from a full season of the TCR Asia Series last year to try and take that position away, although he's going to be hung out to dry going into turn 1. Will be on the extreme outside. So first time round, Diego Moran is holding on to the lead. 2:21.9, not a particularly quick lap, but standing start lap 2. He is leading Tin Sritro by 1.1 seconds. Kennedy Kasiri's just 4/10 behind his long-time Thai rival. Here they are on screen. Tin will be doing everything he can to try and keep him behind and move forward at the same time. The 2 R Engineering cars now. Lai and AK are now 4th and 5th on the road. So that's a good recovery from them. They showed great promise towards the closing practice sessions in the last couple of days. So there's good pace to come from those Honda Civic TCRs. Very wide run there from the 2 combating Thai Volkswagens. Interesting to see too that yesterday during final official practice we had lap times that were some 2 and a bit seconds faster than the ultimate average qualifying time. So the track had dropped off just that much between the morning session, very similar to the time we had round 1 of the championship this morning, and round 2. So those Control Michelin S9L tyres are going to be under a fair bit of pressure. Some teams, though, admitted that they played the strategy game. They have 4 sets of new tyres from opening practice at their disposal for the first round. Some of them kept spare tyres to make sure they have green rubber for this race. what they call roaded rubber tyres. They would have done some laps on, so they're ready. They've been scuffed, and they are ready to fire out the gates. They're basically on new tyres, so nothing left in reserve in this race, but you should see that times might be off by as much as 2 and a bit seconds over what the pace was in the opening race. Of course, first time round we saw a very impressive speed from Kennedy Kasiri. In fact, his pace was inside his qualifying time, courtesy, of course, of the track conditions. 2:16.853, his best lap. That was very early in the running of the opening races. He looks to the outside. Tin Sritro protecting the insiders. Further back, the battle goes on between the 2 Audis and the 2 Sayats. This is Jasper Thong leading. SK Tong's got position behind him back again. So he's regained that place as Douglas Koo looks to try and get his way back past Alex Liu. This is a nice battle towards the rear of the field. These guys are battling for the Cup title too, and you think for 2017 with the TCR Asia Series. The honours as to who will take that fell by way of Jasper Thong in the opening race. Currently, though, it's AK in the second of the R Engineering cars, who actually set the qualifying pace before their infringement in Parc Ferme post-race. They actually started working on the cars before they'd been cleared by the scrutineers. So that unfortunately took them from positions 2 and 4 in qualifying and dropped them to excluded, and they were forced to start rear of field in the first race, and unfortunately that penalty also had an impact on their starting position in race 2. But currently in positions number 4 and 5, it's been a good recovery, and for WS Lai, he had a great run through to position number 4 in the opening race. So there's your order as it stands. Sritrai now has closed in on the tail of the Ecuadorian driver, and he's bringing with him though his rival, the man who many think he will be battling right through the year, the man driving the reigning champions car. This is the car that Andy Yan took to 5 victories last season out of 10 starts. So it has great pedigree. We know the Liqui Moly team, Exler team, has a fantastic pedigree in touring cars. Oh, there's contact. They don't need to be doing that. That was a very, very ambitious move from Kennedy Kasiri. Whether there'd been some sort of delay in Tin Sritro coming through the corner that just allowed Kasiri to take a look and think about making the move. It's not really an area you'd think you'd see too much overtaking here at Sepang, and he certainly was pressing hard to try and get through. That could have ended badly for both of them. You don't want to be rubbing these tyres and wheels that closely, and it's likely you can get caught up in damage that could be irreparable in your run. Let's take a look at the replay. Oh, there's not really a move on there. That was very lucky for both those drivers. That could have ended in disaster. That was tough call. So anyway, fortunately, they're both running. Neither of them look like they've got any kind of significant damage. Fortunately, unlike this poor Douglas Koo's come off again. He had that drama in the first race, got caught out by cold tyres, admitted fault. As he said, he was trying to find the limits. He's getting quicker with each session. 4th in the final official practice session, which was very impressive in amongst the pro drivers, but unfortunately hasn't been able to find that pace again since that time. So disappointment for him to have a spin whilst he was battling with the 2 Audis and Alex Liu towards the rear of this field. But yeah, unlike a modern-day GT3 car which has dive planes and aerodynamic aids on the front of the car, these TCR cars don't enjoy that luxury. They don't have the power to push it either. So they're not going to cop too much damage from there. They've got to be careful of splitters and guards, but more importantly, it's wheels and tyres. Once you start to rub like that, tyre deflation can end your run. We've seen sites over many years of motor racing competition where deflating tyres have led to delaminations that tear bodywork apart and basically end drivers' races. So fortunately at this stage they look like they're going on untroubled, but they can't do things like that too often. Hopefully the stewards don't wrap them across the knuckles too hard at the end of the race, but that didn't really look to me like much of an overtaking move. I guess Kennedy Kasiri, he's a racer. As everyone says, you put the helmet on and you get into racing conditions, and sometimes logic falls to play second fiddle. So he may have seen an option that wasn't there, although very similar sort of move there. Potentially, no, that was an unusual move too by Sritray. He just didn't look comfortable heading into the corner. And it's almost as if Kasiri moved to avoid contact. So we'll see. They need to just settle down a little bit. There's a long way to go in this champ. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is just diabolical. They can't keep doing this. This is not going to be a good season. I mean, it's going to be fantastic to watch, but this is really going to set everybody back if they keep doing too many things like this. He's got to get himself out of this gravel trap. Hopefully there's no suspension damage to that, that number 2 Liquimoly Volkswagen. As up front, his teammate carries on. It looks like Kasiri's going to come into pit lane. This is terrible news. This is not what they needed to be doing. So we'll see what goes on from there. We'll see a replay shortly, but Diego Moran's going to be the man to take advantage of this and extend his lead out to 2 seconds now over Srichrai. WS Lai now inherits third with his teammate AK in position number 4. Then it's the 2 Audis in position number 5 and number 6 with Jasper Thong at the lead. Now, have we got any dramas here for Tin Srichrai? But that looked like a big hit too for Kennedy Kasiri. Battling over position, heading into the final turn. Here we go for the replay, do we? That's terminal by the looks of it. That's going back into the garage for Kasiri. He's shaking his head. That's just, that's tragedy for a man who was likely to be the target for the championship this year. Up the inside, makes a late move. Oh, gee. Tin started to move across to take to the apex. Perhaps he didn't see him. It's not up to me to make a judgment call. Anyone can make their call based on what they can see. This will come down to the officials, obviously, post-race, as to whether there will be any kind of penalty. And they have the vision of a lot of data, onboard data, camera angles from onboard cameras with the cars. So they will be able to play all that out and make a decision post-race, but that's not what we needed to see. Kennedy Kasiri had not put a foot wrong all weekend, had been flawless, immaculate. Had the time when he needed it, was not under any kind of pressure, but he was clearly very keen to get through on Tin Srichrai, and like any racing driver that's in front, they're not all that keen to let the person behind them through, so he wasn't going to let it out. Now it's just come up on the timing monitor, contact at turn 12 between car 2 and car 9, no further action. Well, there you are, it's settled now. Unfortunately, the reaction to that no further action is that Kennedy Kasiri is in the pits, and he looks almost certainly out of this race. Meanwhile, Tin Srichrai, his rival, is in position 2 and hunting down the leading car of Kasiri's teammate, Diego Moran. And the difference now, 1.16 seconds, so certainly Srichrai has closed him down. In fact, it's 9/10 of a second that last lap. You can see just how close he is. Srichai's just got to be careful he doesn't get too over anxious in making a move. Well, we didn't see too much of that, to be honest, with him last year. He did get caught up in a couple of incidents, but that was often in a situation just like we saw, which was battling over position and nothing too serious. So he's not one renowned for contact, is Tin Srichrai. So we will see. He's learnt enough over the last 12 months of racing in the TCR Asia Series to know that you can bide your time and just wait till the opportunity arises. He has 6 laps to go, so he doesn't have forever. He's certainly on a good pace. He just needs to rein in the number 32 car. Let's take a look back at the start. Right of screen is Jasper Thong, who's really struggling to get this RS3 LMS TCR Audi off the line. In fact, drops to rear of field off the start. It was so bad. His teammate, SK Tong, tried to protect his line. A little bit of contact with Srichrai. He was just trying to give himself enough room to get across to take the racing line, but a little bit of contact there too. 4th place then for Kasiri, and the rest of the field ran through. Now here we are in pit lane. They're checking that everything's straight. I look like they're keen to get the young tyre driver back out, which is fantastic work. And if any team in this lane was going to be able to achieve that, you would say it would be Liquimoly Team Engsler, the reigning teams champion and the reigning drivers champion, with Andy Yan from Asia in 2016, and just recently been crowned the 2017 TCR Middle East champions. In fact, just overnight. Top of screen, Jasper Thong continues to charge on. The 17-year-old from Hong Kong, representing Audi Hong Kong and Phoenix Racing Asia, doing a great job on his debut. Admits he's struggling a little. He's only 17. He's come out of open wheels. A little bit of GT3 action in an Audi R8 last year in the one-make R8 LMS Cup. As there we are, Kasiri's back out onto the circuit. He's a few laps down now, but it's good that they'll be able to go out, complete this race, hopefully score championship points by virtue of finishing enough laps, and perhaps, provided there's not too much serious damage done to the car, actually gain some good data heading forward. So he is new to the TCR Asia Series, but this would be his 8th now TCR race. 2 rounds of the TCR International Series for Kasiri last year. He's stunned the International Brigade by finishing 6th and 9th at home in Buriram, then elevated himself into the TCR Thailand Championship in a Honda Civic TCR for a Buriram race and a race with the Banksend Street event, which was contested just recently against the might of Jack Lemvard from the Vitana team, who's a renowned star in the Thailand series. And they're in their 2nd season for 2017. He was very, very quick, was Lemvard, battling for the title with Carlo Van Dam, a driver with GT3 credentials and a multiple winner of with Subaru at the Nürburgring 24-hour event. He went head-to-head with both those drivers and actually had to drive past them on a couple of occasions to win races. He's been undefeated as an Asian driver in TCR competition against Asian competition. So 7 races in succession he had won up until race 1 or round 1 of the championship this morning. Unfortunately, that record's a little tarnished. He won't finish on top in the 8th race unless some sort of miracle happens. I can't really see that playing out. The field seems to have settled down now. Svitre now just 0.7 of a second off the tail of Diego Moran. But that will be frustration for them, but could also be lesson learned. Great to see the car back out there, and Kasiri is a very smart young head, old head I guess you could say, on young shoulders. He's doing a very mature job. I'm not sure how we could categorise the incident, but it's done, it's there. He just needs to put that into the memory banks and draw on that the next time he gets into a similar situation, because it may not work out the way he'd like to see it. Now on screen, the 2 are engineering Honda Civics. Front car, WS Light, behind him, the driver he spends a lot of time with. AK, it's here. They have been long-standing members of the Malaysian R engineering team. A lot of production touring car championship races between them. A fair number of race wins too, including a recent 1-hour victory for WS Light here. In fact, this weekend in a production car. And they've stepped into the TCR series this time round, and AK could not get that broad smile off his face at all after the first race. He was smiling from ear to ear. He reckons it's one of the best experiences he'd ever had in his life. Thinks that TCR is really the best thing he's done in a race car, and he's looking forward to the season as it unfolds. So it'd be nice to see them do a solid job and get a nice result here. Unfortunately, the frustration of qualifying with being excluded was disappointing, but they took it on the chin and fired through. And as I say, WS Lai had got himself up to 3rd by the opening corner of the first race, so he had lost none of his pace, and great to see his teammate right behind him pushing on hard. Now here we go. This will be a bit of a lesson for Jasper Tong. He looked like he was running around there on his own quite comfortably, and he's got somebody to play with now in the form of Kennedy Kasiri. He said to me that he was struggling a little bit, having come out of open wheelers, Jasper Thong, that he couldn't quite handle the weight transfer. That was the one thing that was difficult because of the light weight of the open wheeler versus the heavier touring car. He said, it's getting me a little bit. The aero I'm not too bad with, but just the way the weight moves from left to right in changes of direction, like he's in the middle of now. And he said, I just wish I could race with somebody and watch their lines and try and learn from them. Well, this could be TCR Racing 101 as Kennedy Kasiri looks to take the position away going into turn 14. But if he can lock in under the tail of the number 2 car and give himself some valuable miles, this could be a big learning experience for the young driver from Hong Kong, and well worth the effort of following the Volkswagen around for a number of laps. 3 laps now to go. Diego Moran's opened that lead out now to 9/10 of a second. You can see the gap there on screen. WS Lai is in position 3, just ahead of his teammate. Then it's Jasper Thong on screen. Kennedy Kasiri might be behind him, but of course he is now about 2 laps down. So he is out of contention for the podium, but he will still provide plenty of entertainment in this race, I'm sure. Certainly provide plenty of headaches for young Jasper Thong. SK Tong, position number 6. Alex Liu in position number 7 for the Elegant Sports team. You say it, Leon PSG. And then Douglas Koo is in position number 8. Candide Kasiri, of course, by virtue of that contact and ultimately a visit to pit lane, has dropped back to position number 9. Now, we talked about the pace being slightly off. 2:16.853 Kasiri's best in race 1. The current best, 2:19.735, sorry, 2:19.417 for Tin Sritrai. He is the fastest driver on the circuit. 2:18.518, sorry, is his best lap time. So it's about 1.7, 1.8 seconds difference to the pace of what we saw this morning. In fact, Kasiri is the fastest, 2:18.423. Just checking the full list. So still significantly slower than their time from this morning as he looks to make a move up the inside of Jasper Thong. No, he won't want to get involved in any more contact. Certainly not being 2 laps down. 47-degree track temperature. Those Michelin S9L control slick tyres really working very, very hard. As race leader Diego Moran, let's see what the split is now. It looks like Tin Sritrai may have gotten the best of his tyres, or he's just conceded that he's going to have to come home in position 2 to add to his 3rd place finish in race 1. Yeah, very little difference, 2:19.1, 2:19.1. So no forward movement for Sritrai that time round. WS Lai dropped another 6/10 off, so he's comfortable with his 3rd position. Siri pulls out into the cool air. Still pumping around. So championship positions after the opening round, 30 points to Candide Kasiri on top of the championship, 22 to Diego Moran in position number 2. Tin Sritrai, 18 points. Then WS Lai and both Jasper Thong linked on 12 points. Abdul Kahir is on position number 6 in the championship, 8 points, 6 points for SK Tong, and Douglas Koo to Eric Kay will receive 1 for his 5th place qualifying position. Oh, now that's all 4 wheels off the circuit. Diego Moran, he is under a little bit of pressure now. Not so sure how that will go down. Certainly nothing gained there. It would have slowed him down, if anything, but he's really, really pushing hard. Track limits could be an issue as Tin Sritrai closes in once more. He may have just allowed the tyres to cool off, allow the car to cool off, allow himself to cool off, and try and make an assault onto the number 32 race leader from Ecuador. Sritrai is not running untroubled either this weekend. Unfortunately, he's suffering a gear shift issue, which prevents him from downshifting under heavy braking. It's been quite a problem for the young Thai driver. It was a real level of frustration thinking that in an identical car rather to the Liqui Team Exler team. In fact, he's driving the car that Philippe Sousa drove last year as teammate to Andy Yan. The teammate to this particular car that Candide Kasiri's driving. That was the car that Andy Yan took to 5 wins out of 10 starts last year in TC Asia. He thought that being in an identical car, he could at least match the pace of his rivals in the Liqui team, but unfortunately they've suffered little teething issues, predominantly based around the gearbox since they took the car over, and they haven't been able to work their way past that just yet. So, oh, very wide there. No, it's not a bad line for Jasper Thong. He's getting a little bit of schooling, but from behind rather than in front. I'm sure he'd rather the roles were reversed, given it's not going to actually affect the outright result. But he's still managing to press on. In fact, last time round, Jasper Thong, 2:20.3, his best at 2:19.5. So he's learning as he goes, and that's the main thing in this regard, especially with a new car, new team for him, joining Phoenix Racing Asia. It's a big move as we go back to the front of the field now. Will we see Tin Srichrai make a move? He's closing in under the rear wing of Moran. Coming through turn 5 into turns. Oh, that's a little bit skiddy there for Moran. That's really allowed Srichrai to close up. And Srichrai will be applying maximum pressure. Now he's completely off the circuit. That hasn't worked out either. That's pushing a little bit too much. Can be no advantage gained there. Turn 8 on the run down to turn 9. What can Srichrai do down here? Can he get him under brakes up the inside? It's going to have to be a big move. He's a little bit too far back. No. Has Moran done enough, or will the move come in turn 14? It looks like now Srichai's lost a little bit of that momentum by running wide and off the circuit. Looks like third is locked down by WS Lai. His teammates a couple of seconds further back. And Moran looks like he's done what he needs to now to open up that gap. This will be an amazing result for the driver from Ecuador on his debut in TCR, on his debut with this team, and certainly on his debut with the TCR Asia Series. Second in the first race. This could be victory in race number 2, and this would make him the championship points leader. That's not a bad weekend for your first weekend in a new category. Thank you very much. Tin Srichrai, not ideally the result he was looking for, but a good haul of points regardless, given he's suffering a bit of an issue. Coming to the checkered flag, Diego Moran is going to give victory number 2 to the Liqui Team Exler operation. Tin Srichrai, second for Team Thailand, as the reigning team's champions celebrate back-to-back victories, 2 different drivers. WS Lai, good result too for him and his R Engineering teammate. Jasper Thong, 5th. Across the line in front of Kandidi Kasiri, who was unable to get past him or not willing to make the move, one or the other. SK Tong should come across the line in position number 6 for Audi Phoenix Racing Asia and Audi. There we have Tin Srichrai. Diego Moran will be most happy with that result. That is fantastic to see on his debut. Nice to see a driver coming into the championship that enjoys his sport as much as Diego Moran does, and to give him a result as successful as that. And that, as I say, will give him the championship points lead as we head into the second round of the championship, which is scheduled for Zhuhai International Circuit in China on the 23rd of April. So a nice result for the reigning champions, but nice too to see some good, solid competition. Very impressive operation too. Engineering, they have done a great job to bring cars home in positions 3 and 4. They qualified effectively in positions 2 and 4, so they will prove a threat as we get further into this championship. Good debut too for Phoenix Racing Asia and the new Audi RS3 LMS. Here's the results for you. Diego Moran will take victory for Liqui Team Angsley. Second for Tin Srichrai in Team Thailand's Volkswagen Golf. WS Lai and AK in positions 3 and 4 for R Engineering. Jasper Thong will be position number 5 for Audi Hong Kong. His Phoenix Racing Asia teammate SK Tong, position number 6. Alex Liu for the Elegant Sports team in position number 7. Douglas Koo for Viper Nisa Racing in position 9. And Kandidi Kasiri, unfortunately, 2 laps down in position number 9. We'll give him some championship points, so it was vital that he carried on. Who knows just how close this championship could end up. And that certainly makes things interesting, because with his performance through official practice into testing, into qualifying, and then into race 1 this morning, tends to suggest that he would be the man to beat in this season. And that setback will suddenly make things very, very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Certainly all the information will be available after this weekend. You'll be able to read more about this and follow the story through www.asia.tcr-series.com and also in facebook.com/TCR Asia Series, one word, We'll keep you up to date with everything that goes on, all the video action, replays from this weekend, thoughts from the drivers and teams. As Jasper Tong pulls the number 5 Audi Hong Kong car up as the suggest he's second place, in fact, in the Cup this time round. The man alongside him is WS Lai, who will finish third, and Abdul Katia will be the winner of the Cup this time around. But there's no denying the winner. Let's see the emotion that comes from Diego Moran. Lovely man, doing a great job here on his debut in TCR, enjoying it immensely. But nothing is better than a win, so I'd imagine there'll be a fair bit of emotion pouring from within the number 32 car at the minute. He'd just be desperate to get out and cool off for the minute. He hasn't quite experienced heat like this before. As we say, nearly 50 degrees on the circuit. Proud Ecuadorian. Fantastic result for him. And yes, cabin temperatures would have been quite immense, so a great job from him. Kurt Tremmel coming to wish him the best. He's the team boss for the operation here for Liqui Moly Team Exler. And that will be a nice photograph for the pool room wall. Victory and the flag. Second event in TCR Asia, second event in TCR, and he is already a winner. Good job from Diego Moran. Best wishes from Tin Sritre. Kurt Tremmel congratulating the young Thai driver. And very soon we will be down with Diego Moran, with Casey Tan, the mastermind behind so much of this great footage from the TCR Asia Series. He will fill us in on how the Liqui Moly Team Exler driver feels. I should imagine, apart from very hot, he will be right in the mix and the emotions of this race win. Good result.
There you go. Give it a thumbs up. Okay. Okay.
There you go. What the race. You made a very, very good start. So how was your race totally?
Yes, I had a very good start. And then I was pushing every lap to try to make a difference. But yeah, it was very hard. The guys back there were fighting and were very fast. Yeah, at the end I was pushing, but yeah, also the tires were losing grip. But I managed to do it. I'm so happy.
So first race, second, now first. You must be very happy.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I want to say hello to all my people in Ecuador. We did it. Ecuador #1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Sean.
Ecuador #1 indeed. Yeah, no, it was a good result. Nice to see somebody passionate about their sport, as most drivers are, let's be fair, take a victory. And he said, look, my hope this weekend is to make a podium. If I could make a podium, I'd be very happy. Well, not only has he made a podium, he's made the top step of the podium and the second step and leads the championship. So I would say that's a pretty tidy job for the weekend. It's nice too to see Tin Sritre.
How was your start?
Well, quite better than last race because I have to try to release the car more. Yeah, but done better enough because of the Moran is quite better than me. Yeah.
So tell me about the contact with Kusudi.
I try to braking late and try to turning late, but it's my line and my turning point, so cannot overtake.
So how you can totally? How was your weekend?
Very tough, very tough because the car have many problems with the gearbox and of course have the problem with the high-speed corner on section 2 and section 3. I'm slow, but the last race I improved a lot in sector 3, but sector 4 is quite slow. But I hope to thank you my team, PTT Motorsport, and my family to support me. Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Sean, now.
Another fantastic young driver. It'd be nice to see Tin Sritre have a car beneath him that didn't have any kind of teething issues, because certainly last year he was the one driver that would have been capable of matching Andy Yan, and in fact did match Andy Yan on a number of occasions, but was unable to complete a race. Didn't finish 4 of the 10 races, still finished 3rd in the championship. It could have been so much better. So for this year, I think everybody's hope, certainly for the championship, was to see the 2 young Thais without any kind of restrictions or limitations from mechanical woes going head-to-head. Now, that's still yet to come. It's a new car for them. They've not used it before. Tin may not be as used to it. He's still got to get more miles under his belt in that regard. So he will no doubt be right there. In fact, I quizzed him about his experiences going head-to-head with Candide Kasiri in the Thailand Super Series in the past, and he said I got the better of him back then, so let's hope that can continue. Championship points now. Diego Moran, that is a great weekend. 47 points. Ecuador is number 1 on top. Tin Sritrai, position number 2, 36 points. Candide Kasiri, it's not all miserable, but he didn't earn any points from this race. Still 30 points the way he started this race. WS Lai is up to position 4, 3 points down. Jasper Thong still holds on to position number 5. Good result for him, and he's leading in the Cup standings. Abdul Katia in position number 6, 20 points. Alex Liu in position number 7, the Macanese driver. 12 points, equal on points to SK Tong from Hong Kong in the second of the Phoenix Racing Asia Audis rather. Douglas Koo, position number 9 with 6 points, and poor Eric Kay, he didn't get any further than a couple of 100 metres into the first race before he was hard into the inside barriers, and that put him out of race 2. He'll be hoping to get that Elegant Motorsports car repaired in time for the next round at Zhuhai. So that was a fairly interesting weekend's racing so far as the TCR Asia Series is concerned. It was a good start to the season, just what we wanted to see. We will see a lot more cars enter the championship as the season progresses. It's a very early start for Asia. We're used to seeing championship starts around April, May, so there will be more cars coming. There are cars on order that are due. There's certainly another Audi or 2 in the pipeline, so that's great news. And then, of course, we will combine with TCR Thailand and TCR China as the season progresses, and we'll see some pretty big fields. There's the mastermind behind TCR Asia Series, David Soninger, talking to AK, to Farouk. There's young Jasper Thong. Looks like he's sitting on the couch playing a PlayStation game, but he's got through comfortably his first 2 events unscathed and earned some serious championship points and leads the Cup titles. Tin Sritrai there with his mum, doing a great job. He's a fantastic operator, frustrated by the fact that they had more mechanical woes and it limited him from having the opportunity to push on. SK Tong, Jasper Thong's Phoenix Racing Asia teammate, comparing notes. Unfortunately, he fell further back in the field than he would have liked, but recovered back to position number 6. Still a lot to learn. The new RS3 LMS TCR TCR Audi is a new car. It is certainly new to the Asian region, and Phoenix Racing Asia, as they did with the Audi R8 LMS GT3 that they used in both the Cup, the R8 LMS Cup, and the GT Asia Series last year, got on top of that very, very quickly to the point where they took Alex Young to his 3rd Cup title and also went on to claim not just the AM Cup title but 2nd overall in GT Asia in their maiden year as a team. So they won't be down for very long. They will be right in this championship hunt. Jasper Thong's got a little bit of work to do, but when he's got mentors like Marchi Lee, an icon in Hong Kong, a former F1 driver in Alex Young, and his older brother Sean Thong, who's emerging as one of Hong Kong's next great exports as a racing driver. Young man's got a lot of people that will be able to support him in his growth as he moves forward with this team throughout the 2017 season. We will take you very shortly to the TCR Asia Series podium, but from the team here behind the television for TCR Asia and Motorsport Asia, it's time for us to sign off, and we will be back with you again. We hope you can join us for what will be a fantastic championship for the next round of the season at Zhuhai International Circuit in China on the 21st to the 23rd of April. We'll see you then.
Diego Moran, Liquid Morning Team Answer. In 2nd place, Team Sritrai, Team Thailand. And in 3rd place, representing for Lai Wei Singh, R Engineering. And the winning team goes to Liquid Morning Team Answer. invite Mr. V.S. Look, Business Development Director of Liquimoli Asia Pacific, to present the trophies and to give away the prize for TCR Asia Series Round 2 overall. In third place, representing for Lei Singh R Engineering. And in second place, Team Strickright, Team Thailand. And the winner, Diego Moran, Liquimoli Team Aisler. And the winning team goes to Liquimoli Team Aisler. Thank you very much, Mr. V.S. Look, Business Development Director of Liquimoli Asia Pacific.